political zones of the state to support Islamic propagation. In a sermon, Sheikh Jamiu Sanusi cautioned the governor against blaming game and sycophants who might not offer sincere advice, urging residents to be pleased with whatever Allah has bestowed upon them. In their goodwill messages, the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, and former Speaker of Oyo Assembly, Senator Mansurat Sumonu, called for love, unity, and collective commitment among residents to further advance the development of the state. Special prayers were offered for the governor and the state by Farouk Onikijipa. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ Oyo State Council, in partnership with renowned entrepreneur and statesman Mr. Shina Pella, is set to host its 2026 annual Ramadan lecture and iftar tomorrow, Saturday, February 28, 2026. The event, which has become a significant tradition for media practitioners in the state, will take place at the NUJ Press Center, located in the Yaganku area of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The organizers have announced Dr. Adam Akeula, an associate professor of Arabic and Islamic studies at the University of Ibadan, as the guest lecturer for the occasion. Dr. Akeula, a respected scholar and orator, will deliver a sermon titled Islamic Perspective, Role of Journalists in Promoting Peace and Security in the Society. Speaking on the upcoming event, the chairman of the NUJ Oyo State Council, Akeem Abbas, expressed the council's gratitude to Honorable Shina Pella for his unwavering support of the union. The program will culminate in the communal breaking of the fast iftar, where journalists, religious leaders, and public figures will share a meal in the spirit of Ramadan. Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Mr. Adebo Ogundoyin, has reaffirmed the commitment of the legislature to advancing inclusive and gender-responsive education reforms, declaring that no society can rise above the quality and accessibility of its educational system. Speaking at the policy dialogue on legislative pathways for inclusive education reform in Oyo State, the Speaker emphasized that education remains the bedrock of sustainable development and must be deliberately structured to accommodate every child, particularly the girl child and other vulnerable groups. Mr. Ogundoyin described the dialogue as timely and strategic, noting that it rightly places the legislature at the center of education reform efforts. He explained that the constitutional mandate of lawmakers extends beyond lawmaking to include oversight and appropriation, instruments through which policies are shaped, budget priorities influenced, and public resources deployed efficiently and equitably. Mr. Adebo Ogundoyin assured stakeholders that relevant House committees, particularly those on budget, education, science and technology, and women affairs, as well as community development, would continue to collaborate closely with civil society groups and development partners to review existing frameworks, identify policy gaps, and promote reforms capable of delivering measurable progress. Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced a slight adjustment to the Osun State governorship poll. The state governorship election, earlier scheduled for Saturday, 8th August, has been rescheduled to Saturday, 15th August this year. The National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Malam Muhammad Haruna, disclosed this in a statement made available to newsmen. Malam Haruna noted that while some activities for the Ekiti and Osun governorship elections had already been conducted, the remaining processes align strictly with the Electoral Act 2026. Meanwhile, the electoral body has also released a revised timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general elections, shifting dates for the presidential and governorship polls in compliance with the Electoral Act 2026. The Commission had earlier fixed Saturday, 20th February 2027 for the presidential and National Assembly elections and Saturday, March 6, 2027 for the governorship and state houses of assembly elections. According to the revised timetable, the presidential and National Assembly elections will now hold on Saturday, 16th January 2027, while the governorship and state houses of assembly elections are scheduled for Saturday, 6th February 2027. The Society for Animal Rights Protection in Oyo State has expressed readiness to sustain its collaboration with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, to strengthen public awareness on the protection of animals. President, Society for Animal Rights Protection, Oyo State Chapter, Dr. Ibikunle Faramade, stated this during a courtesy visit by the members of the society to the management of FRCN, Ibadan Zonal Station. Dr. Faramade explained that the society has enjoyed long-standing relationship with Radio Nigeria in view of the outstanding and excellent operational standards in the nation's media landscape. But urging Radio Nigeria to continue to maintain its flagship position, Dr. Faramade said the society needed to partner FRCN so as to achieve the vision of keeping the rights of animals. Reacting, the zonal director, FRCN Ibadan Zonal Station, Mr. Olufemi Fulani, condemned the disposition of Nigerians to domestic and wildlife animals, saying constant campaigns is required to change the narrative, hence the readiness of FRCN to partner the society. Mr. Fulani commended the society for considering animal rights protection and urged them to continue with the vision. You're on to the news at 11 on Radio Nigeria's Premier 93.5 FM, Ibadan. Thanks for staying tuned to the news at 11 on Radio Nigeria's Premier 93.5 FM, Ibadan. And now to the rest of the package. The notes that this day in 2020, the first official case of COVID-19 in Nigeria was announced involving an Italian patient. Now to the foreign scenes. China has removed 19 officials, including 9 from the military, from its list of lawmakers ahead of its biggest annual political meeting next week. The removals were announced by the country's top legislative body, the National People's Congress (NPC) Standing Committee. India and Israel have concluded over a dozen bilateral agreements during Modi's two-day visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India and Israel would deepen cooperation in defense and artificial intelligence as he concluded a two-day visit to Israel. Modi and his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu both said in a joint statement on Thursday that their countries would work towards pursuing a free trade agreement. As Christians and Muslims observe fasting, let's unity be our watchword to make Nigeria great. To end the news at 11, a quick look at the major items. Oyo State government increases monthly payment for clearance of backlog of gratuities. INEC rescheduled governorship election in Osun. India and Israel pledged to boost ties in defense and technology. You can track us on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng, X and Instagram at PFM935, and at Facebook at Premier